In this video, I'll show you how to set up your Facebook pages within Business Manager and what's the difference between setting them up on your personal account and on Business Manager. Right, so in this video, yes, covering pages setup. And so I'll just first start with the personal account. So here I am in my personal account and I will create a new page. And that would be Masters Academy demo test page, right? So then I need to give it a category, which is required. That's going to be describing the type of business that we're working with. Let's say that that's a online store, or let's say it's an e-commerce website. And then this is a demo description. Right. Now then I have created the Facebook page. Cool as it is. And then I can do the additional setup. I can add some profile pictures. Let's say I'll go to the Masters Academy designs and social images for Facebook. And let's say I'll go with this one. And then I'll also add a cover photo and I'll go with the same one just because we don't want to lose any time to that. And then of course, you know, setting up the business page is quite important. And if you remember in the social media marketing course, I showed you different types of setups that you can use for your page. These are changing frequently over time, and that's not really a problem, but you need to set up your page correctly. You need to add your bio and all the things. And definitely do not forget in the beginning, for example, once you create your page, if you're creating a new page, make sure to first invite all of your team members and friends who can invite other friends. And then you can go here. And for example, as you can see, I have 3,000 friends in something. And then you can select all of them and send invitations to them. You can't send to all 3,000 at once, but in the first week you can go over this process and send it over time. So this way you can invite all of your Facebook friends and your team can also do the same. And if you remember in the Facebook course, in the social media marketing course, actually I showed you how to do all that. Right, great. Now I have a page, and so this page is right now a property of my personal Facebook account. So if I go back to the business settings in Facebook Business Manager, over here to the tools, you should be able to find business settings. And once you open the business settings, you will go to here, accounts and pages. And what you can do is you can create a new page from here. Now this page created from here will be a property of the business. We can give it a name, call it business page 1, choose its category, and let's say it's going to be a business service. Then we are going to give it some address and say that it's in let's say it's in Berlin, Germany, and that postcode is going to be 123459. Doesn't matter. It's pretty much the same process of creating a page, but the difference is the ownership of that page. Now this page over here is as you can see, managed by the business, and you can see it's owned by Startup Masters 1, which is the name of our business manager. So the owner of that is the business manager and not me. which is very, very important, especially important if you are just the boss or the manager of the business and someone else is going to be creating those pages for you. You want to make sure that this is your ownership, because transferring ownership between people and pages is very complicated, especially if, for example, the person who works for you has set it up and then claimed it in a business manager of his own where he manages his own stuff. Now, just to show you an example, with a client of ours, we actually have that problem where one of our ad accounts, and that's the same with ad accounts, that ad account is not owned by us. It's owned by a business manager that's owned by one of the employees. And we can't fix that. Fixing that is a big pain because what really happens is you need to send a bunch of documents to Facebook. You need to go to the notary and send them your registration documents and go to the notary and verify that you're the true owner of that page. And then you need the other person's confirmation and notarized signature and whatever. It's a pain. So don't ever let that happen to you. And that's why you need to make sure that you own your properties. Now, there's another way for you to add a page. And so let's do that. What we need is the Facebook name. So let's go and try and write that name. And it's called MA Demo Test Page, right? Because I own the page, it's going to pop up here quite easily. But if you're not the owner of that page, it could be a little bit harder, and then you might need to enter that ID over here. So that's going to be the page ID, and you can see that over here in the link. You can also see it in the settings as well. That would be in the page settings here under page info. You should be able to see it. I'm not sure. Sometimes it moves. So let's see where it was. Somewhere here in the general. Well, it does move, so it doesn't matter where it is. You can generally see that over here. And so now I can add that page. And you should be very careful, because now, as you can see, that page has been claimed by the business, which means that now the business, Startup Masters 1, owns that page and not me anymore. I just created it. It was my personal property a few minutes ago, but now it's a property of that business, and I cannot reverse that process. I cannot make it my property again unless we go through that painful process that I explained before with the notaries and everything. Now, once I have added my pages, I can add people to them. So, for example, I can say that I want to add Dimitar Savov, and then I want to give him access to manage different things of that page. So they can either publish content, moderate messages and comments, create ads, view page performance, manage jobs, view earnings insights. That's something that you generally want to provide only to the managers or to the accountant, and then the admin access is to manage the entire page. In this case, I can assign that to myself, and now, as you can see, this person has these certain permissions for that page. You can generally do that for all types of assets. As you can see here, we have the ad account, and I have some permissions for that ad account. Now, I can remove myself or take my permissions away, and that would be completely fine. I can even remove my own access to that ad account. And as you can see now, I would not be able, if I go to Facebook Ads Manager, I will not be able to access that account anymore. What was the name of it? As you can see, I cannot find that account here anymore. And if I switch to a different account, I won't be able to find this account anymore anywhere. Right. So then I can go back and that sometimes happens if you don't have access to any of the properties that you do own as a business. That's not a big problem because you can actually go and give yourself an access. Now, you can also go to the people section and add assets to here to the person itself. But let's say I just want to provide back that access to the ad account just to this guy. And here it is. It's the same with pages. Now there's another thing that you can do, and that's requesting access to a page. So let's say that I want to search for a page, let's say oh yeah, well, I need to have a primary page for my business manager first, so that's fine. And now I can request access to one of the pages that I own. So let's go and see which one would be appropriate. So let's say maybe I could request access to Masters Academy. And as you can see, because I have access to that page, I can now request access to that page. And it's not going to be a property of the business manager, but I am just going to be able to access it. And that's the same for everyone else who has permissions to use the business manager account. So we'll talk about users and users permissions once we add some more assets to the account. But as you can see here, I can request access. And then here, as you can see, now this page is owned by Startup Masters 1, and this one is owned by our real business manager, which is Startup Masters. And now I have requested access to that page. And if I go to my other business manager, I would receive a notification probably, or a request. Sometimes these don't come, and they usually come over email. So what you need to do sometimes is go to your business manager request and go back here to the pages and send it again. It's a bit hard for them to approve that. So let me just see if I can do that right now. Sometimes these also take some time, so that's not really that big of an issue. And let's try and approve that request. We can also go to the pages over here, find that Masters Academy page, and see here it is. The Startup Masters 1 is requesting access to that. And so I can provide it the access to that page. In this case, I think what happened is that the request was approved automatically because I own both. But usually they would have to go in and approve it. So from here, I can also remove this partner. as you can see, Startup Masters 1, I don't want that account to have access to my page anymore. And so I can easily remove that. And you can see here in the partners, we won't have anyone. So usually partners means other business managers, meaning other agencies, or in general, other people who need to be managing your account. So now I go back to my own Facebook Business Manager account, and we are done with the pages. So in short, you have three options. Add a page, which means that you claim that page and now your Facebook Business Manager owns it. Request access to a page, which means the other party, whether it's a person or a business manager, still keeps ownership of that page, but now you have access to it. And then you can also create a page from the very beginning inside of your Facebook Business Manager. So that's it on pages, and we're moving on to the next one.